Hi, everyone, and thanks for jumping over to this video to discuss the partnership that we have with Gemma Services and Widener University. My name is Cameron. I'm the Assistant Director of Recruitment and Outreach in the Center for Graduate and Continuing Studies here at Widener. First off, for those of you that were on the list to attend the event on October 30th and ran into some technical difficulties, I just wanted to apologize. It's a problem that was on our end. So definitely our fault, and we accept responsibility. Sorry for the inconvenience with that, and thank you for taking the time to search out this video. I'll also be sending this out in an email, so hopefully it'll make it as easily accessible to you as possible. But please feel free to reach out to me individually anytime. I'm happy to connect one-on-one and discuss Widener's offerings. Today, we will be talking a little bit about, Widener introduction, as well as diving into the partnership program, taking a tour of campus. We'll discuss all of the programs that are relevant to this audience, as well as touching on the Widener Advantage and the application process to conclude. So if you're not familiar with Widener as a campus, we are a 200-year-old university. We were founded in 1821, originally as the Pennsylvania Military College. And we are a mid-sized private institution just outside of Philly, so about 15 minutes south of Philly, but pretty accessible from any of the Philadelphia area suburbs. For example, I live in Montgomery County and commute down. So pretty accessible if you do have to take classes on campus. A lot of our offerings that you'll see in this presentation are online, but if you do have an on-campus class or an on-campus program, I'll touch on that, and it's pretty easily accessible from wherever you are. We have an 11-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio, which allows you not only the opportunity to network with peers in your program, but get to know your faculty, build a network with your faculty, and potentially even participate in some faculty research. We have 60-plus graduate programs. That number is always growing to meet the demands of what our students are interested in, but I'll touch on quite a few of those today. And as of 2024, we have almost 6,000 students enrolled at Widener, pretty evenly split between our undergraduate and our graduate programs. So let's dive into the partnership. The partnership entitles all Gemma Services employees to a 20% tuition discount on all graduate and continuing studies tuition rates. The programs that are excluded, you can see right there, are our Kroger medical programs, our online MSW, and our undergraduate day programs, meaning any program that you would matriculate directly from high school into college for. I know the online MSW is one that this population might be interested in. It's just run through an external technology service that we do a revenue share with. Unfortunately, they don't allow the discounting with it, so that's not eligible for discounting. Every other of those 60-plus programs that you don't see in that blurb are eligible for discounting, and this applies to everyone at Gemma Services. So we're not worried about hourly employees, salaried employees, full-time, part-time. We encourage everyone to take advantage of this great discount. And we will waive your application fee as well. So an extra $35 that you don't have to worry about in the process, thanks to being a partner employee as well. I'll get into the enrollment counselors a little bit later on, but just know that you'll have a lot of resources to you in the application process. And that just gives you a little peek into what Widener provides you as a whole and the resources that you'll continue to have access to beyond the application process. I'll jump in here to this quick aerial tour of campus. I'll talk through this a little bit. You can see our closeness to Philadelphia right there with the skyline. This is Founders Hall, where our nursing students take most of their classes. You can see some of the hands-on opportunities that we have in this building. That's Hyatt Hall, where we are in graduate studies. The Kopelski Learning Center here, you'll see some communal learning spaces, just great areas for students to connect, as well as in the University Center, kind of our student hub for campus. Our Leslie C. Quick Center, this is for mainly our business students. You can see our student working there on the Bloomberg terminal. Lots of hands-on resources in there as well. Some dining options over in Harris Hall if you've got time between classes. This is where a lot of our classes will be for PsyD, physical therapy, social work, and SLP. And then some more hands-on opportunities for engineering. Probably not super relevant to this group, but something to mention. Our library. This is our pro bono clinic that is right on our campus that our students work in quite a bit with our faculty, with residents of the Chester community that are underinsured or uninsured. And then again, our location compared to Philadelphia. So jumping into our programs. These are our adult and continuing studies programs. These are designed for our non-traditional students, someone who is not matriculating directly from high school into college, somebody who maybe has a 9 to 5 job full-time, and is interested in completing their undergraduate degree. So when I say completing your undergraduate degree, we have students that come into this program with 0 credits, and they can work, climb that mountain to the 60 for an associate's or the 120 for a bachelor's in terms of credits. Or we have students, we accept up to 90 transfer credits for these programs. So we may have students that have that full 90 credits that we could take in as transfer credits, and then they have to finish 30 to complete their degree in, say, organizational development and leadership. Some of these you'll see over a couple of slides here. I touched on that organizational development and leadership one. We call it ODL. ODL also has a master's degree correlated with it and some graduate certificates like HR leadership that stack into that master's, which I'll get into a little bit later. But some great options here to kind of get your foot in the door started with your college education. Moving along to our graduate certificates. So you'll see a lot of business on this slide, a little bit of healthcare, maybe a little education too. These certificates are typically between 9 and 18 credits, and they allow you an opportunity to get a micro credential on your way to completing a master's degree. Kind of dip your foot in the water, make sure you like it, how the classes are delivered and everything. Again, on your way to a master's degree. So every program on this slide here is delivered online. So you don't have to worry about coming to campus. And most of our online courses are delivered asynchronously as well. So you won't have to necessarily sit Wednesdays at 2 o'clock for a lecture. You'll have some pre-recorded lectures to watch throughout the week, as well as completing some discussion posts or just some assignments weekly as well. We typically run on a module system with our courses. So in a compressed format, rather than the 15-week semester, you work in 7-week modules to complete your courses, which allows our students an opportunity to speed up their education process. I know when I did my master's, it helped me complete a 36 credit program in about 15 months. So definitely something to take advantage of. Moving along to our graduate certifications. These certifications are mainly for our education folks, and they encompass quite a bit of our master's coursework. So I don't know if I touched on it in the certificate slide, but all of our certificates and certifications stack directly into a master's degree. So I'll take our K-12 leadership, for example. That program is a 45 credit certification, and it stacks into a 51 credit master's, meaning you can complete almost 90% of the coursework at the certification level and then stack it into the master's and only need 2 more classes to complete the program. Now, the reason this is important is because the certifications and the certificates are significantly discounted compared to the master's rate. So these certifications are priced as low as the Pennsylvania Department of Education will allow us to price them. And along with your 20% discount that you're eligible for with this, you could be saving thousands of dollars by starting with the certificate or certification along the way. These, again, are delivered online in an asynchronous format in our module system. Some of our master's programs in business, you'll see here that organizational development and leadership program popped up again with some HR and leadership certifications that you can get along with that. We also have our professional MBA there. That's a 30 credit online MBA. This is one of those programs that does have online classes available. So it may be, you can check the course catalog and see if that class is available on campus. You can come on campus to take that class. I would say the vast majority of our students still complete the coursework online, but it is possible to come to campus if that's how you learn a little bit better. And then we also have our specialized MBA options there. So if you're interested in specializing in things like healthcare management, investment management, things like that, it's only 3 more credits than our professional MBA. And it's taught through our AACSB accredited institution and delivered online in an asynchronous format as well. So pretty flexible with these programs. Moving along to our master's programs in society and culture. You can see some on here. Our human sexuality program is one of our more popular programs. We get students from all over the country for this program. And it was delivered in a hybrid format typically. So that would mean maybe 2 weekends throughout the semester that you would come onto campus to network with your peers and attend classes. That is moving fully online in fall of 2025. So again, trying to make it more accessible to anyone who may be interested in that program. And then the social work program that I mentioned earlier, also available online or on campus, both in part-time or full-time formats. I would imagine this audience is mainly interested in the part-time format, but just another community-based graduate program that Widener really believes in. Some master's programs in health professions. I saw there were a few that signed up that were interested in nursing. So I could touch on these briefly. We do have a second degree nursing program that's not on this slide. It's an accelerated bachelor's of science in nursing. It is a full-time program, which is mainly why it's not on here. But you can complete that program in about 15 months. If you have a bachelor's degree in something else, this can be accelerated through the nursing program and become a BSN in 15 months. But also some MSN programs here. You could see, nursing leadership. We also have specializations in acute care, you can see. So some good options in our health professions as well. We onboarded our first physician's assistant class this fall, as well as speech language pathology, which has been around for a few years now. So another great program. We've developed a pretty significant amount of our infrastructure around these healthcare programs. So we really believe in them. Moving along to our master's programs in education. I should have touched on all of these already in the certificate or certification level. These are the correlated master's degrees that go along with them. I think I saw some people on this call were interested in special education. So that's an online program fully accredited from the Pennsylvania Department of Education. Online, asynchronous, just like the rest, pretty affordable program as well. Some doctoral programs in health professions. I saw some interest in this as well. So I'll touch on two of the programs here. Our occupational therapy program, excuse me, is a 3-year program. It is full-time on campus. Our students that are in that program are typically matriculating directly from college into grad school. But it's a 3-year program. You get the benefits of our pro bono clinic on campus and our vast network of clinical partnerships in the region. As well as some interdisciplinary learning with your classmates in physical therapy, physician's assistant, and speech language pathology. Our PsyD program, this is a full-time program as well. So this is 120 credit, 5-year full-time program. It's one of our most intense programs, but also one of our most sought after. We get about 500 applications a year for 50 spots into this program. So definitely very competitive, but we really believe in the program as a whole, and we were the first program that was accredited by APA in this. So again, a program we really believe strongly in, but it is difficult to work and do this program. We typically tell our students that they will be on campus 9 to 5 every day, and you'll start in the classroom quite often and then transition as you get going into more clinical spaces as well. So a lot of programs that I touched on there. Again, if you're interested in one specifically or have specific questions about something, please feel free to follow up anytime. My email was on the first slide there. But let me wrap up a little bit with the Widener advantage. We talked about our convenient location. If you do have on-campus classes, it's pretty conveniently located for any Philadelphia area suburb. Part-time students move at their own pace. So aside from the few full-time programs that I mentioned, the vast majority of our programs are offered in a part-time format. You can take one class a year. You could take your whole program in 1 year. So it's really tailored for your success, whatever you think will help you the most. You can take classes really at your own pace. And then again, with the average time to completion, that goes to the part-time. So we have some students that want to complete their master's in a year, say with a 30 credit master's. That's definitely available to you. But some of our other students maybe get tuition remission, and they want to stay under, the tax aprons. They don't want to be taxed on their tuition remission benefits. So they try to stay under that $5,250 a year. Lots of things to take into account. Every situation is different, and we're just here to support our students any way we can. I touched on most of our classes being offered asynchronously. I'll also mention that There are some that are offered synchronously, meaning you will sit for a lecture uh, once a week, maybe. But if that is the case, you'll see it in the course catalog before signing up for the program. And it's never going to be in your working hours. So it'll be 7 o'clock, maybe on a weeknight, that you have to sit for that. So again, tailoring this for our 9 to 5 working adults who are completing a graduate degree. And then I think I touched enough on online, face-to-face, hybrid, with most of our classes being online, our PsyD program being on campus, and then our human sexuality program moving from hybrid to online next year. So let's dive into the application process. That is the application link right there, widener.edu/apply. When you go to that link, all it will ask for is pretty basic information. It'll be your first name, last name, email, program of interest. Once you click submit on that form, it'll take you less than 5 minutes to fill it out. You'll get an email that prompts you to access a portal. In your portal, that's going to be your application hub. So we may ask for things in your program like a resume or a personal statement or letters of recommendation. One thing I'll mention is we don't require the GRE or the GMAT, any of those standardized tests for the vast majority of our programs. Some of our students do choose to take them if they want to bolster their application a little bit, but definitely not required for the vast majority of our programs. But that's your hub. So when you know what you're going to be looking for your application, prior transcripts, stuff like that, you'll see that checklist in the hub. And every time you add, say it is a prior transcript that you add in there, you'll get a green check mark next to that. And you'll also get your enrollment counselor's information on that page as well. So you'll see their headshot, their contact information, and that's where they really begin to be a resource for you. So if you have 2 letters of recommendation required for your program and one of your recommenders hasn't gotten back to you, that's where your enrollment counselor can reach out to them and say, hey, we're just waiting on this letter of recommendation to get this student enrolled. Can you help us out here? Or even in a further extent, some of our students will come into a program that has a 3.0 GPA requirement, and they'll have maybe a 2.7 in their prior coursework. And that's where our enrollment counselors can work with these students, review their application holistically, see their commitment to getting a graduate education, and then really advocate for them in the application review process. So, when the faculty begin to review the application, they can say, listen, I know this student doesn't have the minimum GPA requirement for the program, but they really would be a positive addition to Widener as a whole. When we reviewed their application holistically, we believe in what they bring to our campus. And so maybe we give them a provisional admission. Maybe we say if they take their first 2 classes and they get a B or better, they can stay in the program, that kind of thing. So always trying to advocate for our students and work for their success. The application process typically takes about a week once all the applications materials are in. So once we have all the materials required for that program, our enrollment counselors will review it, pass it off for faculty review, and then the faculty will pass it back to our executive director of admissions, who has final say on all applications. And that typically takes about a week. I would say, depending on the time of year, obviously in the summer, things are, a little quieter around campus. Faculty may take a little bit more time to review, but typically it takes about a week to flip an application. So if you're interested in starting in spring 25, January, you have plenty of time to get rolling into that. If you forget about it and, the holiday season picks up and you miss spring 1, that's totally fine. Remember, it's every 7 weeks that we start classes. So you can easily pick up by probably March and begin your education there with most of our programs that have rolling admissions. And that is about it that I have to talk about Widener here today. So you could see our main contact info on the screen there. That's gcs@widener.edu for our email. And 610-499-4282 is our main line at our office, so somebody can help you out there. Again, I apologize for those that ran into our technical difficulties yesterday. But if you took the time to search us out and find us here today, hopefully we can be of some assistance to you. Please feel free to reach out to me or that main line there anytime if we can help you complete your graduate education at Widener. Thank you.